What's up, comic book junkies? Welcome to my cousin Tim is going to show or share with us tonight his female celebrity photo collection. So, my cousin Tim has been living with me for a while. We're going to say congratulations to him. He's been here waiting for his grandson to be born, and his grandson was just born the other day. But we don't have anyone watching yet, Tim. So, we're just going to bring you
Okay.
in.
All right.
What's up, my cousin?
Hello, Night Tiger comic fans. It's a pleasure being with you. I've watched the show many times, but I've never been interactive in the show, so it's new for me. It's a great pleasure. I've watched some great content and some great viewing of some great comics here in the last year. So it's a pleasure being part of the podcast here for my first. I'm a virgin when it comes to this stuff, so I appreciate the invite by Mike, and certainly glad I can share my content.
Okay, let's run an intro. Okay. All right. So, how did you start collecting celebrity photos?
It's interesting. I've always been into especially older classic movies, and I've always respected the acting capabilities and the glamour that a lot of these actresses had. It was always, back then it was about they had to be talented at many different levels. It wasn't just about, being a beauty on the screen. They had to have great acting abilities. They had to, in a lot of cases, sing, in some cases, dance. And that kind of started it for me. I've always, obviously, just like any guy, admired beauty, right?
Well, we grew up in the '70s. It wasn't internet, so they had to be much more talented. They didn't have this platform where they could just get on and do whatever.
Yeah, and but I'm going all the way back to like 1930s, 1940s. I'm probably unique in the sense that I probably appreciate a lot of the actresses from that time period, probably more so than a lot of other people my age. Um,
For
you know,
instance, Linda Evans,
well, even
50s.
further back than that.
How
Um, you know,
further back we going?
Back to the pretty much back to the 1940s. It's
The
kind of my
the golden
specialty
age.
area. Yeah, kind of the World War II and older time period, I guess. Not to say that some of them weren't around a little bit before that, but yeah, it's so I've always been fascinated with a lot of the older actresses. I'll even say, I guess my grandparents' age, right? And then it just stemmed from there. And then, of course, you get into, like you said, the period that we grew up in, the 70s and the 80s, and I'll have a lot of content from there. And it's not that I don't have some stuff that's maybe a little bit more fresher, early 2000s, but that's kind of how I got started in this. And I will say, for anybody who's out there watching tonight, if they want to have build their own collection of women, obviously my wife was a little a little jealous or a little concerned when I started collecting a lot of this stuff. Yeah, Myrna Loy, great actress. So I what I did was I actually took a picture of my wife, which she actually was trying to become a model at one point, and I took her picture, and I figured, well, if I got her picture, now she's okay with me collecting others, right? So I just added her picture to my collection, and then everything was fine, right?
So you're doing a
So
giveaway tonight?
yes, giving a giveaway exclusive to your audience. Obviously, there's a lot of probably more appreciation with your audience with this picture. But hopefully you can see it. This is Catwoman Lee Merriweather. Obviously, there was three people that played Catwoman. at least from the standpoint of the television series.
Flip
Um,
it, flip it around.
yep, sorry.
Show the back. Show the back of
Oh,
it. You,
yeah.
it's got the
So it
the
does come with a
COA.
letter of authenticity, obviously because it is a signed
Here in
uh,
the community, we just say COA, so we don't have to pronounce that authenticity.
DOA. Okay, apologize. But you can see here it's an 11 by 17, so it's quite a unique size. It's not something that was just printed off of a computer. So I will ask three questions later relative to Lee Merriweather, and the first one to, I guess, answer all three correctly will get the prize. So,
Okay, I'm also giving away tonight. Where is it? Be getting a. I got a question also, so you'll be getting the first issue of Flair from the second series, November 1990, with a very, you can see, beautiful cover. And this is from Hero Graphics, and it's a really good issue. I actually picked up two copies, one to give away to the community. So those would be the two giveaways tonight. Tim, go ahead and start us off with your collection. Let's
all
before you
right.
do, let's check in. We got psychedelic comics. We have what happened to Disney or Disney and I love Disney and comics. That's friend Steve from Ohio. We got Fireball, Meow, and we have Noxium. Great request for Myrna Loy. All right, brother, you want to go ahead and show us some of your collection?
All right. Well, I guess we'll first start it off with since we're talking comics. I really love this picture here of Linda Carter because, well, excuse me, sorry. Really love this picture here because it's kind of have different dimensions of Linda Carter. So it's not just one picture. It is an autographed picture of Linda Carter, so Wonder Woman. So I wanted to start off the collection just by showing that one.
Where did you get that?
I got this on eBay. Um, I got really, when I started collecting a lot of these photos, I kind of got a little overbearing, I guess, as you will, and competitive with bidding on some of these photos. And for probably a whole summer one time, I probably collected, I don't know, probably about 250, 300 of these. This what I show tonight is just a fraction of what I have. Obviously, moving down here, I couldn't bring everything. So, and actually, what I have today, my son sent a box down of my collection, but a lot of it's at home. Some of it's on computers. But yeah, so with that, I'll continue on. James Bond, Ursula Andrews, first James Bond, Doctor No, right?
Oh
Famous
yeah.
scene. I've always loved her. She's
Hold it up a little longer, so
oh
we can
yep,
get
sorry.
a better taste. You can whet our appetite,
Yeah, there you go.
and that's from Doctor No. You said
Doctor No, yeah, the first James Bond, Sean Connery.
nice. And then that was the '60s. It was really starting. It wasn't a real prevalent thing for women to be parading around in bikinis in movies.
Yeah, up until that point, a lot of the coverage, especially with a two piece, women were typically one piece bikinis, right? Or maybe they had kind of a skirtish style bikini, or even back in
And they
the
didn't show
heyday
their
of the
belly buttons.
30s or 40s. Yeah, they didn't. They showed their legs. Even then, typically they didn't want to show anything above the knees, right? So it's just amazing how television and the movies progressed with. I mean, now they literally show nothing, right? So obviously a different time. Next one here is probably most people won't even know who this is, but her name is Shauna O'Brien, kind of a B movie type actress. Um, Not quite porn type movies, just kind of more of a small, nudity type movie, romance type movie. But I think she's just incredibly gorgeous. And again, it's a
You said
nice
Shauna or Shannon?
Shauna O'Brien. She
Huh.
does have her own, channel or content and stuff where you can, buy videos and pictures and stuff like that. So she's not a huge movie actress. It's kind of surprising she didn't do more in the field, but certainly I always really liked her when I first saw her. I was just blown away at her how gorgeous she was. And then, like you said, growing up in the '70s, we all had a lot of the television shows and things that we really liked. I have a bunch of pictures here, but obviously Aaron Gray, Buck Rogers,
Yep.
really loved her. That was probably one of my biggest crushes back in the
Okay,
'70s.
move it a little bit. You got a big glare on it. We're seeing your face over hers.
Yeah, sorry.
Turn, tilt it a little bit more the other way. The other there. Yeah, right there.
All right. So I do have one with her autographed, kind of more in the tight fitting outfits that she used to wear, but really like this photo as well.
Wasn't she in another series or something?
She was in with Ricky Schroeder.
Oh yeah, that's right. In Silver
Yep.
Spoons.
Silver Spoons, yeah, yeah,
Steve was in love with her.
yeah. I, I don't blame you. I was same.
Okay, so me and Tim, we grew up in Milwaukee, and Tim would, with his dad, would come over. What, like in '76?
Yeah, 77, 78 time
Come over
period.
to the house, pick me up. We'd go and throw the football around at the park. I had no idea who Tim was, and one day he showed up with his dad, and I asked my dad. I said, "Who's this?" And so his dad is my dad's cousin,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, our grandfathers are brothers, and we're technically second cousins. And actually, it was kind of interesting because your dad and my dad both were in Vietnam. Um, so they both went hunting together as kids. When our grandfathers, went hunting up north, deer hunting.
On the Indian reservation.
Yeah, on the Indian reservation, it was obviously your dad and my dad would also go with, and unfortunately, they got stuck in the car. As our grandfathers would hit the bar. But
So John Smith is your great uncle or great grandfather, or what
yeah,
is?
so John Smith is your grandfather. He would be my great uncle. Yep.
Okay. And our great uncle or my grandfather John Smith, he married a Chippewa woman, and so we were married into a Chippewa family and spent some time. I spent a lot of time up on the reservation as a kid. But so Tim, I don't know. I think my sister reached out to me, said, "Do you want to talk to Tim or something?" And so I just called you out of the blue, and we started talking and reminiscing. We'd spend 2 hours reminiscing here and there, and then your son got a calling as a what?
Yeah. So he's in his what's called a vicar year. He's going to be a Lutheran pastor. He's in his third year at the Wisconsin Seminary, and their third year is a vicar year where they actually go work in a church to perform pretty much the same duties as a pastor. So he does, pastoral duties and does visits and obviously does a lot of the sermons, rotates on that schedule. And then they go back for one final year to kind of work on the things that they were critiqued during their vicar year. And then once they finish their fourth year at the seminary, then they get what's called a call, all right, and then they have to do that first call for 4 years. So he'll get assigned to more than likely a church. There is other positions within the church that you could technically be called that
But
for.
he got assigned an hour from my house.
Yeah, Leesburg, Florida. Yeah, he's a vicar at St. Mark's Church. He's married to a wonderful woman, Caitlin. She's from her family lives in South Dakota, Yankton, South Dakota. She's one of 12 siblings, and then they just had a baby last Sunday, as a matter of fact.
So
So
you're a grandfather for the first
a
time.
grandfather for the first time, yeah. So makes you feel real
So
old.
you reached out and said you wanted to come up and be up here when your grandchild was born, and I
Yeah.
said, "Well, come on and you can move in with me."
Yeah, it's been wonderful. There's twofold reasons for being here. One was obviously the grandchild, and then the second was for health reasons, getting out of Wisconsin in the wintertime, being active, that type of thing. So, and as you could see, based on all the crap that I brought into your house,
So we haven't seen each other in I think like 36, 37
I
years.
don't know, it was closer to it was probably about almost 40 years. Yeah,
And
about
we used
38,
to me
39
and
years.
Tim would go to the family reunions and hang around with all the cousins and get stoned and drunk
Yep,
and
yep,
party.
yeah, it
But
was,
we grew up. We became responsible adults.
yeah. Yeah, well, some of us anyway. The
All
next
right.
photo here is this is Nadia Bjorlin.
Oh, wow, look at her eyes.
Yeah, she is just simply gorgeous. I believe she started off on a soap opera. I happened to notice her on kind of like one of those uh, romance type movies, kind of like a Hallmark type movie. But yeah, she's just incredibly gorgeous.
She looks all like Tiffany Amber's
Yeah, and I'll show her as well. But yep, so
thesis.
beautiful lady.
So Steve said his first crush was Catherine Bach, and he sent her a letter in Tiger Beat magazine asking her to marry him.
Wow. Did she respond back?
She's a cutie.
This is let's see here, Joanna Krupa. Little risque photo, but I don't have anything in full nudity, but yeah, a little close up here, kind of appreciate the face a little bit more.
He didn't buy the next issue, so he says he didn't know if she replies.
Uh, yeah,
We
yeah,
got
I don't,
five watching. All right.
all right. Yeah, it's funny with those comics that I mean, I remember like trying to order, and remember everybody probably here on the call remembers appreciates those the Army Men collection. You had like 5,000 Army Men. You'd get a for like less than $10 or whatever it was.
$2,
Yeah,
$1.98.
yeah, it was crazy. I never ended up getting it, and who knows, me, maybe didn't have enough stamps or something, one of those crazy things. But yeah, so this one's kind of a little bit takes you back. Probably a lot of people probably won't know who this is, but a lady named Karen Steele. She was in quite a few movies back in the late 50s, early 60s, a lot of westerns as well. But yeah, really beautiful lady. Trying to do this without the glare here.
So later on, Tim's going to give you three trivia questions to win that Lee Merriweather print. And I have a question to win my comic book. So we'll do that in about, I don't know, about a half hour, a little more.
Now this one's a little bit more modern. A lot of people probably see her. If anybody's seen the Hallmark Channel, I know she just seems to be all over this. Lacey Chabert, probably I would say more around the early 2000s era, but she's I think she's in her 40s now, doing a lot of the late 30s, early 40s, doing a lot of the Hallmark movie channel. But I always just really loved her face. Incredibly beautiful young lady. That's what we got to say when we're older, right? The next one, I actually got a few. Jennifer Love Hewitt. They actually, her and Lacey Chabert started off in the same television show.
Lost in Space movie, Lacey. Do a lot of those have COAs with them?
Some of them do, yeah. Most of them were just that I got off of eBay. I mean, obviously, this one here is not a signed one, but yeah, the signed ones, I typically got a letter with those. Yeah.
So she was in Party of Five.
Yes. Yeah. Her and Lacey Chabert kind of started off. Lacey's couple years younger than Jennifer Love Hewitt. Cute story with Jennifer Love Hewitt. I was actually on a flight one time coming back from Salt Lake City to Milwaukee, and I was sitting next to this girl who was kind of into magazine models and magazines, and we got a discussion about Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I said, how much I really thought she was, really hot and stuff, and she says, well, doesn't she have a big forehead? And I'm like, well, I really wasn't looking at her forehead, but yeah. So she was actually incredibly hot herself. Actually, I wouldn't have mind if I wasn't married hooking up with that lady. But yeah, another kind of a more modern Hayden Panettiere. I believe she married when she married like some kind of Ukrainian boxer or something. I think they got divorced recently, but yeah, I always thought she was a gorgeous lady.
I never
You
heard
know,
of her.
you never heard of Hayden Panettiere? Oh,
She looked familiar though.
yeah. I would say probably early 2000s she was kind of more prevalent. Some of you might not know. I actually got a few of these signed autographs. I really liked her look was Stacey Dash. Um, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Renaissance Man. That's the first time I think I recall seeing Stacey Dash. And then briefly, she was on Fox News. Now she's married to, um, I think, an attorney here in Florida.
She was a cheerleader on the superhero show Heroes.
Okay, wow. Yeah, so thank you. I never knew that myself. Another one, Stacey Dash, probably a little bit more showing her assets, so to speak.
We'll keep that in the glare.
Yeah.
We got 7 watching now. You got 3 of her.
I've
Wow.
got 3 of her. Yeah, I really liked her, and that's the thing with these sometimes is when you collect these photos, sometimes you almost seem to forget what you have.
Someone must have got mad because now we only have 6 watching.
Oh well, I apologize for that. Maybe it's my glare that they were disinterested. Elizabeth Hurley,
Oh yeah, she was in Austin Powers.
yes.
Shag baby. Do your Austin Powers. I was going to say intimidation, but
Oh yeah,
rendition.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny.
yeah, bye bye.
She's actually on
Oh,
Instagram. Actually, see posts from her on Insta. Now this is the one that you like, Mike. Tiffany Amber
Tiffany.
Thiessen. Um, for those who remember Saved by the Bell television show, kind of predated us a little bit, but I always thought she was
Not predated, post dated.
post dated. Sorry, yeah, post dated us, but always liked.
Oh, we're up to 4 watching. Everybody's jumping off. What's going on? I follow Valerie Bertinelli on Instagram.
Megan Fox, for those Transformer movies fans.
Oh, young Indiana Jones. Who was on there? Obviously, one of the women you showed. Machine Gun Jubilees. How do I miss those? Tiffany is beautiful. Okay, we're going back now.
Yep. This is Deborah Paget. Um, yeah, she goes back to probably the late 50s. Pretty prominent in that era.
Why are you looking at her thumbs, Steve? You said Megan Fox has huge thumbs.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't. Megan Fox. It's some of the things with these photos is you kind of have to kind of forget about like maybe who they're with. I think the guy she's with now is just a really oddball. Sometimes you wonder why some of these girls marry the guys that they do, but yeah, crazy. Um, Emma Sams. I don't know if anybody remembers Emma Sams. She was briefly on General Hospital. You could,
$49.99 or best offer.
yeah, yeah, that was. Sorry, left that on there. But yeah, the thing with Emma Sams was kind of really big in the '80s. Kind of fell off. Did some stuff in the early '90s. I'm sure a lot of that had to do with maybe she, got married and had a family or whatever. But you could certainly tell this is more of an '80s style bikini.
Oh, you can tell by the hair.
Yeah.
No Samantha Fox.
Uh, you know, again, I think that's the trouble sometimes is I think I do have her, but she kind of turns me off a little bit with her, politics and that's the thing. Sometimes you kind of got to try to forget some of
What is
this
she, a
stuff.
big lib?
Well, she's a lesbian for
Oh,
one.
she
Uh,
is? I didn't even know that.
yeah, yeah. Gina Francis, and I remember Luke and Laura from General Hospital.
Yeah,
I
my
remember,
girl, my girlfriend made me watch that.
yeah, I remember. Everybody remembers the Christopher Cross song, "Think of Laura."
Right. Yep.
They played that exclusively when Laura came back to the show. I think I missed. I ended up skipping school for like a week because I was so like into watching when she would come back. So it was quite interesting. This is another one, more of a more modern. I think this Laura Wright. She was also on General Hospital. A lot of people probably don't know who she is, but kind of more of a modern. I think probably early 2000s that she was on General Hospital. Not sure if she still is. I don't really watch the show anymore, but not a fan of those shows anymore. But hey, she's
They had their peak in the 80s.
yeah, yeah. Kim Alexis, model.
She looks familiar. She wasn't on, what's the show with Chachi, Steve, Scott Baio? No.
No, no.
Charles in Charge?
Carl's in charge. No, you're thinking of Nicole Eggert.
Yeah, she looks a lot like her.
Yeah, yeah. I liked Nicole Eggert, but she got really weird too. She accused Scott Baio of that he raped her when she was on the show. Um, this one kind of goes back to the '70s. Everybody remember Little House on the Prairie?
Oh, yeah. Her
Yeah,
eyes, man.
yeah.
They're so blue.
Melissa Sue Anderson, always kind of a quiet person. She never really. I remember her in a couple like horror movies and stuff in the late '70s, early '80s. Um, I don't know. Her career was just kind of stagnant, but I know that a lot of her former uh, colleagues from Little House on the Prairie don't really communicate with her much. I mean, she is married, has a family and stuff. So Alice Eve,
Never.
English actress. She was like in a romantic comedy, kind of like one of those nerd type movies where the nerd gets the girl and she was the girl. I don't know if anybody in your channel would recall, but
What was it?
Alice Eve, she played in a movie where she this kind of a nerdy guy. She liked him, and he felt like he was never good enough for her. Kind of jealous of her and stuff, and one of those movies where kind of ends at the airport where they, he runs to tell her that he loves her type of thing. Catherine Oxenberg.
Never heard of her.
I think she was on like one of those Falcon Crest or one of those in the 80s. Another English actress, gorgeous lady. She just had a thing recently, a couple years back. Her daughter, she had to rescue her daughter from a cult.
Didn't Falcon Crest like try to go against Dynasty?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and I can't remember if she was on Dynasty or Falcon Crest, but yeah. Here's kind of another one from the 80s where she was in uh, kind of a Peebles on the. There's another actress there in black hair on the right in the bikini. Peebles. She was also an actress, but Catherine Oxenberg's the one in the middle there. This was kind of more of a early 80s.
Hate watching. Yay.
Sarah Wright.
Didn't you show another right earlier?
Yeah, this is. I think this one, Teresa Wright, or excuse me, Sarah Wright. Teresa Wright, I showed earlier. Sarah Wright, they're not related, but she's, I believe, Australian actress.
Love that Australian accents. When I used to have the GPS voice and you could switch it, I'd put it on an Australian.
Maybe I'll try to get rid of my face when I show these so that
There you go.
people can concentrate on the picture a little bit more. Is that better?
It's much better.
Okay.
Sarah Wright. You bloody well right.
All right, I got a couple of these. Kate Beckinsale. I don't know if anybody knows who. I'm sure a lot of people know who Kate Beckinsale is. She was in the
You
movie
gotta look. There you go.
Serendipity.
I've heard of the movie. I don't remember her.
Yeah, Serendipity with John Cusack. She was in that movie. Kind of a popular movie, especially with women.
Underworld.
Underworld, yes. Yep.
Oh, that she the main actress in Underworld?
Yes. I love I love me a great ass. I tell you, I'm an ass man. So
We've seen you on Seinfeld.
yeah. This one probably a lot of people probably won't know who she is, but
Annette Funicello.
Barbara Rush. She was probably big into mid 50s to early mid 60s. I believe she was also on one of those, like not General Hospital, but one of those types of shows. She was. There was a movie called The Young Philadelphians that she was in that I really. That's kind of where I really liked her from. Paul Newman was the lead with her. A lot of these with the actresses and stuff, especially from the 50s and stuff. Uh, it wasn't so much about their bodies as it was their faces. Um, obviously they didn't, weren't wearing bikinis and some of the fancy lingerie that you see in a lot of the movies today. But back then it was
She
more
was in
about.
the movie It Came from Outer Space. Barbara Rush.
Yep.
And then Peyton Place, All My Children, Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, I think Peyton Place was the actual The not the movie, the original movie. I know she wasn't in the original movie, but I think she was in the television series of Peyton Place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was in When Worlds Collide. A lot of sci-fi movies.
yeah, she was. She obviously very popular as an actress. Lana Turner was the one that played in the original movie with Peyton Place. Now this one here that I'm going to show here was Wanda Ventham. Um, Played in, I think it was she was more of an English actress that
Yeah.
played in some sci-fi type movies.
She was in The Avengers, The Saint. She appeared on television series of The Saint, The Avengers, Doctor Who.
Yep, I have another one of her.
In 2014, People magazine featured her in their most beautiful people in the world.
Really? Oh, I guess I missed that, but I'm glad they feel the same way as me. Same, same women.
Pussy galore.
Yeah, she it isn't. Yeah, and she does look a lot like her, but it's not. It's she wasn't in not the same one from the James Bond movies. Let's see here. Susan Oliver. You see that okay there, Mike?
Yeah.
So Susan Oliver, I know I got interested in her a little bit. She played in an Elvis movie with the same girl from the Beverly Hillbillies, the blonde. I can't remember her name offhand, but yeah, they were in a one of those Elvis movies.
She was in episodes of Twilight Zone, Route 66, Barbara Stanwyck Show, Fugitive, Gomer Pyle, The Virginian, Mannix, The Andy Griffith Show,
Yeah, quite a career.
Man from
Margaret
Uncle.
Hayes.
Who?
Margaret Hayes, another actress from late 40s, early 50s. Well, she acted all the way up into like the 80s, early 90s.
Her first screen test was for Scarlett O'Hara and Gone with the Wind, but she didn't make the cut.
Wow, that's really going back because that was 1939. Wow.
She was born in 1913.
Rita Moreno. I think she was in, if I recall, West Side Story.
Yep, she's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
She she began her first dancing lessons after arriving to New York with Spanish dancer known as Paco Cancino, who was a parental uncle of the film star Rita Hayworth.
Wow.
She, she appeared in the Singing in the Rain, Roger Hammerstein's Sing King in the Eye.
This one's Monica Lewis, another star from, I think she kind of appeared more in the early 40s into the 50s.
She doesn't have much of a bio. She was in Airport 77, Earthquake, Roller Coaster, Concorde 79.
Yeah, and by that age, she was, one of those, the elderly, actresses, that kind of were more of a filler. No, everybody's probably going to know who this is right off the bat.
Oh, she was in the electric company? That was her? The
This is
Puerto
Heather
Rican comedian.
Thomas.
Oh yeah, Fall Guy.
Yep. Interesting. I just saw something recently that due to stalkers, Heather Thomas left Hollywood. That's one of the reasons why you didn't see her in a lot of stuff in the on television back in the late '90s, early 2000s.
She had a cameo on the new movie at the end with Lee Majors.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of more remembers her from the poster back in the '80s where she was in a pink bikini.
Oh yeah, she
I think a lot of us. I know a lot of my friends used to have that poster on their walls. The
she
days
was
of
in a
'82.
1978 TV series called Co-Ed Fever. I don't remember that.
Wow. Sharon Stone.
Yep, everybody remembers her.
Yeah. Famous scene with her opening her legs.
What movie was that? Michael Douglas?
Yeah, with Michael Douglas. Yeah. Was that Fatal
No, I
Attraction?
don't
No, it
think it
wasn't
was that
Fatal
one.
Attraction. Yeah. I'm sure somebody remembers the name of the movie on here, but yeah.
That was the movie that put her on the map.
Was that Basic Instinct?
Yeah,
Instinct. Yeah.
she was on Silver Spoons, Bay City Blues, Remington Steel, Magnum PI, T.J. Hooker, Irreconcilable Differences movie.
And Connie Selica,
Oh yeah, Hotel.
Hotel. I think she married. Wasn't she married to Brolin?
I,
Or no, John Tesh. I think she married John Tesh.
oh yeah, she married. I remember that. She was on A Greatest American Hero.
Yes.
Connie Selica.
Yeah. I always liked
I
her.
actually did. I took from the DVD the separate interviews they had for each actor from American Greatest American Hero, and hers by far did like 5,000 views, where the other ones are like 200 or 300.
Wow.
I think it's still on my channel.
There's a older one. This she played Nancy Olson. Is her name? Not a very good picture here, but I always liked her face.
Nancy Olson. Career. She played in Samson Delilah. She was Delilah.
Yeah, she was in a famous movie with William Holden. She played a writer. Can't remember the name of the movie, but
She was in Pollyanna, The Absent Minded Professor, Big Valley television series, Flubber. I didn't know she was in Flubber.
this here is more of a, I think, just a model, Alexis Wren. I think she was an SI swimsuit model. Actually, got a couple pictures of her. This one's probably not as favored as the other one, but I'll show you the other one here in a minute. Again, as you know, I'm an ass man, so had to get one with a really nice butt. See that okay?
I'm not looking.
Oh.
All right, moving on.
All right. Kerry Russell. I like this picture because it's not really a kind of one of those set up, type pictures. It's more of an everyday, caught her at the moment type picture, which kind of is in a lot of ways a lot better because they're not, they're really not trying to be photographed, so to speak.
She appeared on the all new Mickey Mouse Club when she was 15. Her first movie, Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, She was in Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. I didn't even know that. She was on Boy Meets World. She played Phoenix. She appeared on Married with Children.
Yep. Mimi Rogers.
Wasn't she married to somebody
She was
famous?
married to Tom Cruise back in the 80s. I think she was quite a bit older than him. I think probably about 10 years older than him at the time.
She was born in '56.
Yeah, I think she was married to him in around that 86 or something around that time period. I think she was like 30, he was like 21 or something like that. Not a very good, it's probably not the favorite picture from her with this, but it was more of an autograph type selection. And let's see here. Rebecca Ramjan, Stamos, married to John Stamos for a while.
What a lucky man.
I think she's married to another actor right now. That's can't remember who was that that sitcom with Corky or something. That I think that there was a kid.
Oh yeah, habla di, habla da.
Yeah. I think there was somebody from that show that she's married to now.
She was in X-Men.
Yep.
Who was she in the X-Men? Tell us, psychedelic.
This is
Turn it.
the
The other one. The other. Well,
Sure.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Mystique. Oh, she was Mystique. No wonder why I liked her. Who's that?
This is Charlie Sheen's ex-wife. Who's the heck's her name again? Can't think of it, but
He didn't. He doesn't deserve her.
yeah. Well, he doesn't have her anymore. Put it that way. He does have a couple kids by her. All right, next move on to the next stack here. I'm not sure anybody really knows this Angel Tompkins. She played in a movie. I think she was in one of the Walking Tall movies about Buford Pusser. I think she was in. Not sure if it was the first one or second one. But then she also played like this really sexy teacher that seduces not one of her. Well, I guess would be not one of the students or whatever. But he was after he was out of school. But I think the movie was called Teacher or something like that. But Angel Tompkins, and you could tell this is more of a '70s type bikini. Catherine Hicks.
Sounds familiar.
Star Trek: The Voyage Home. She played the whale person that took care of the whales. I'm sure most people here probably remember that movie, Star Trek: The Voyage Home. She played in a lot of movies. She was also in Knight Rider.
Oh, the TV show?
Yeah, the television show. I think she was in one of the first episodes.
Catherine Hicks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite of all of them that you showed.
Morgan Fairchild. Yeah, I think everybody kind of might know the bit from Saturday Night Live where does a bit about Morgan Fairchild. Yeah, that's the ticket.
She played on Friends.
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde, the movie.
Yeah, she was what Chandler Bing's mother
I
on
know.
the sitcom Friends. Yeah.
And Ross kissed her.
Yep.
Kojak, Happy Days, Policewoman, The Bob Newhart Show, Mork and Mindy, Flamingo Road, Hotel, Simon and Simon, Magnum PI, The Love Boat, Paper Dolls, Falcon Crest,
Cynthia Sykes, kind of more prevalent probably in the 80s, 90s time period. Everybody here should know who this is.
Cheryl Teagues.
No. First Lady Trump,
Oh, that's right.
Melania Trump.
Melania Trump made her appearance. Dang, our president, man, he knows how to.
Yeah, he's definitely I would say dated up, right? Yeah,
Vanna, give me a vowel. Ooh,
I think she's still isn't she still on Wheel of Fortune?
I have no idea.
I think she continued on. Friends, Jennifer Aniston.
She's dating Barack Obama.
Are they really dating?
Yep, they are dating.
Wow.
Dang, Barack, man. You get that gig as president, you can get date some pretty good looking women.
This is English actress Jessica Clement. Little kind of risque. That's the thing with pictures sometimes is I kind of prefer more of a classier look versus more of a trashier look. I'm not into the whole. uh,
Barack's still married, but he's dating Jennifer Aniston.
you know,
Don't ask me how that works because I'm married and I can't date nobody.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's more prestige and Michelle being able to do what she wants, right? This kind of takes you back to the '80s here.
She's wearing the opposite of a bikini.
Deborah Foreman.
Valley Girl.
Yep. She really didn't have much of a career outside of Valley Girl was probably the biggest one. I really loved her in Valley Girl.
So any of you single guys out there, Michelle's going to be on the market soon.
Yeah, isn't there some story that Michelle was actually a guy at one point or something?
I've heard that.
Yeah, I really like this picture here. This was one of my favorites, Jennifer McCarthy. She's kind of loud and obnoxious, but
Louis the Fifth's here. She said that she was in Real Genius too. Michelle's about to be a single guy.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, Jennifer McCarthy. It's interesting with her. She started off, I believe, on MTV, and this was obviously back in the area where they, before the after the music video, more when they got into the whole half hour type shows.
You're not thinking of Jenny McCarthy, are you?
Yeah, that's who I said.
Oh, that's Jenny McCarthy?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
remember her.
yeah. I always liked this picture.
That was right around the time Pauly Shore was on there.
Yeah,
Hey, buddy. At Valley Girl with Nick Cage. I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
really.
Is it any good?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites. Especially, I really like the song at the end too, because that's
Tim, did you tell your wife to watch this show?
I did not know.
Okay.
And I didn't have my wife's picture, and I don't know if anybody remembers, but or whoever joined us late, I had suggested that when you if you have a picture collection like this, that you include your wife into the picture collection, because then they're a little bit more happy with that.
Put her right at the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it signed and autographed.
Well, especially if you're going to have the photos out in the open, like on a desk someplace or whatever, just put your wife's picture on top. That way it satisfies her.
That's
Uh,
advice from my cousin.
yes, exactly. I can't remember this lady's name, but she was on Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she does have a nice. Oh yeah, what is her? Let me look it up.
yeah. She was also in one of those horror movies. Probably should have written it on the back of my picture here, but
That's Dina Meyer.
Dina Meyer. There you go. What
Yeah, I
else?
remember her from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, she was in a 90210, Johnny Mnemonic, Dragonheart, Friends. Oh, yeah, that's where I remember her from Friends. She was dating Ross.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that
A
episode.
horror movie too. I thought she was in some kind of horror movie,
Um,
or the series type horror movies.
Saw. She was in Saw.
One of my favorite from the '80s. They see that pretty well there. Christy Brinkley,
Oh yeah, she was married to what's his name?
Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swimsuit model, always on the SI covers back in the '80s when the magazines actually had sports in them.
Fireball. You're correct. The only thing is nobody remembers that TV series. It was so short lived.
Yeah, I always like Christy Brinkley, especially in the vacation movies. That's kind of where she
He
kind of.
wrote the song "Uptown Girl" about her.
Yeah. This one here she was always one of my favorites in the '80s. Betsy Russell.
I've never heard of her.
Yeah, she was in a movie with Phoebe Cates, Private School. Big time, kind of one of those goofy, 80 movies where
Yeah.
really kind of more of a tease you with the breast and stuff like that. She was also in Saw,
Yep.
the horror movie Saw.
Tomboy.
Tomboy, yeah, that was kind of a hokey movie, but good if you like watching the breast. And she was married to I think one of the Pattons, Vincent Van Patten or whatever it is. His father was on Eight Is Enough,
Right.
and it's funny now because she has a son, and
Vincent Van Patten.
yeah, he's I think he's a writer or something along those lines. All right, now we're going to kind of go back a little nostalgic here.
After
Uh,
this one, let's do some giveaway because
okay.
it's top of the hour. Okay, that's a grandma to a lot of you, but she
What's
had.
that? Sorry.
I said she's a grandma to a lot of these guys, but she had her day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gene Crane, incredible face.
Who is it?
Gene Crane
Jean Crane.
with a J.
Hold on, let's see what she was in. Crane with a C.
Yep.
Oh,
She was in a lot of movies. Probably, I would say probably at least 50, 60 movies in her career.
I can't find her.
A lot of different actors. She played with John Wayne in some of the movies, and starts with I think it's Jeanne, Crane, Crain.
Oh, that's why I spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I spelled the last name wrong too. State Fair, Leave It to Heaven, Centennial Summer, Margie, Apartment for Peggy, Cheaper by the Dozen, the original one. Gentlemen Marry Brunettes, Fastest Gun Alive. Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah, that was with Ford, Glenn Ford, Fastest Gun Alive. She was also in one with John Wayne, and yeah, she played in a lot of different movies. Really big in her day. All right, did you want to do a giveaway, Mike?
Yeah, you want to do yours first, or how do you?
Sure. I guess we again because I'm sure there were some people that weren't on right away. Okay,
Here we go.
so again, Lee Merriweather, Catwoman. So we actually have three questions. The first one to answer all three
Showman has a COA with it.
has a COA. Yep.
This is going to be yours for free.
Yep.
Get your Google fingers ready.
All right. So Lee Merriweather was Miss America in what year? That's the first part.
Okay,
Second part.
say it again a little bit slower.
Yeah. So the first part of the question is what year was Lee Merriweather Miss America? Second is she played in a detective series in the 1970s. What was the name of the show?
That's my favorite show too.
Yeah. And then what role did she play on that show? And then the final question is she had a famous classmate, a singer, that she went to high school with? Those are the questions.
Okay, you got to have all three. What year was she crowned Miss America, you said?
What year was she crowned Miss America? The second part was what television series show did she play in?
Detective.
In detective show in the 1970s. And then the third question would be what famous classmate singer who was a singer did she go to high school with?
First person to get all three gets this photo, the COA,
Yep.
delivered to their house for free.
Yep.
Signed. It's a print of so many. How many? What print is it? Of out of how many? It says right.
I have no. Yeah, I don't
It says
know.
on the bottom, on the
Oh
front.
yeah.
It says on the front, on the bottom.
Yeah. 92 out of 300.
So 300 prints. This is number 92.
Yeah. So 11
Signed.
by 17.
COA, yours for free. You got to answer all three questions. She was Miss America in what year? She played on what famous 70s detective show? And who was a famous? Okay, we got one. 1955.
Yep.
Betty Jones and Barnaby Jones, and Johnny Mathis.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, Steve, you're the winner.
Yep. I'm sure, Mike, you have his address. I can get that mailed out.
Yeah, I have his address. I have the punk's address. Okay, I'm going to do a giveaway.
Okay, go ahead.
Steve, you can't win this one. Okay, so I'm giving away a Flair number 1 by Hero Graphics from 1990. Near mint copy. Gorgeous Good Girl comic book for your collection. Tell me the name of the actress who played in Charlie's Angels that voiced Melody on Josie and the Pussycats. She voiced her singing voice. So what actress from Charlie's Angels voiced Melody's singing voice on Josie and the Pussycats? For this free comic to come to your house for free. Name the actress who was in Charlie's Angels. She voiced Melody's singing voice on the Josie and the Pussycats cartoon in the 60s or early 70s. I don't know if it's. You get this beautiful near mint black cover, Flair, sexy superhero from 1990 directly to your house for free. Do I have any answers? She's got that punk 80s blonde hair. If you have not read this series, this only modern series that I like. From Charlie's Angels, actress from Charlie's Angels. Before she became a Charlie's Angels, she did voice the singing voice of Melody in Josie and the Pussycats cartoon. It's simple, it's easy. You got to just Google it. I even re-Googled it myself to see how fast I could figure it out. And you should have that answer already. Heather Thomas was not. Oh, you're saying she looks like Heather Thomas? Look at those hips. Those are childbearing hips. Flair, number one, Hero Graphics. It's a pretty thick book. It's bigger than your average size comic book. What Charlie's Angels actress voiced Melody's singing voice in Josie and the Pussycats? Well, it seems nobody's going to get that. Tim will wait. Someone pops in with that. I'll give that away. If you want to continue showing your celebrity photos.
Yep. So first one here. This is going to kind of go back again. Now we're going to go back in time here. This is Jean Peters. Really she was kind of I always pictured her as kind of a sassy actress, kind of very sexy, and didn't really have the greatest voice. But she was, to me, she was always just kind of more of a sassier type, played the sassy roles, and this was back in the day where the male lead could slap the female lead in the face, and that was kind of a turn on. I don't know if everybody kind of remember those movies. But she was in a movie called Pickup on South Street. Kind of one of the best roles I think she ever had. But another one that was in quite a few movies back in the. I think she started off in the late 40s. Was big in the 50s. Kind of aged a little bit in the early 60s. But yeah, great actress.
Nice.
This is Mamie Van Doren. She was actually married to Richard Dawson for a period back in the late 60s. When I think this was probably around the time that he was on Hogan's Heroes.
So when he was on Prices or Family Feud, they weren't together anymore.
Nope. Richard Dawson actually met his last wife on Family Feud. She was a contestant on Family Feud, and they actually ended up being married for over 40 years. So pretty interesting.
Steve, if you know the answer, I'll let you win since nobody else is answering. And then you can prize tag if you want.
This is Lola Albright. She played in one of the roles that I remember her fondly from was Kid Galahad with the Elvis movie back in the late 50s, I guess it would be the early 60s, not late 50s, early 60s. She played in the movie Kid Galahad. Another one that I really liked.
Okay, Steve got it right. It was Cheryl Ladd. Steve, you can take the prize or you can prize tag if you want to. Congratulations, Steve. He's on the ball. So it was Cheryl Ladd. Cheryl Ladd voiced Melody's voice in Josie and the Pussycats. She's my favorite angel. Tell me who the prize tag is and I'll tell him to contact me on Instagram. Fireball. Fireball. Steve says you're gonna win the comic book. I just retext me your address again on Instagram, please, and I'll send that out to you. Or if you forget, I'll contact you. Okay, who do we got? Annette Funicello?
No, this is actually, and can't remember her name, but she was on Rock Around the Clock, 1950s movie, late 50s movie. She was a dancer in the movie. She had to go around and actually teach people all the dance moves. So this was back when rock and roll first came out, and it was very controversial, as you know, and they weren't allowed to perform in a lot of places. So she was in a movie called Rock Around the Clock. Really good movie.
With Elvis?
With no, it wasn't with Elvis. It was just
Oh, that's
uh,
Jailhouse Rock.
Alan Freed, the disc jockey, was in that movie. It was called Rock Around the Clock. But Bill Haley and the Comets were in it.
Oh.
Thought it was Deborah something, but I can't remember. It's again, I should have probably put some of the names on some of these because I had forgotten them. But
If
yeah.
he says if you have any Anne Margaret, his head's gonna explode.
I do have Anne Margaret. I don't think I have her here, but again, my son just sent me a stack. So
Was that the teacher in Leave It to Beaver?
who was Anne? Who was the teacher in Leave It
I
to
don't know, the
Beaver?
one you just showed.
No, no, that was you talking about this one here?
I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm guessing that one.
Yeah, no, she was in Rock Around the Clock back in the 50s. She kind of does look like the one from Leave It to Beaver a little bit though, but it's not the same one. I did like the lady from Leave It to Beaver though, the teacher. I would agree with whoever thinks that was hot because she was. Hedy Lamar,
That would be Sue Randall.
Sue Randall. Okay, yep,
That
that's it.
does look like her.
This is Hedy Lamar.
Everybody knows her.
Yeah,
Look at
kind
her
of played in
eye.
a lot of movies back in the. I think she got her start in the late 30s. Played in a lot of pirate movies and um, kind of a lot of the Arabian type movies. Very mysterious type roles. Great actress.
Oh, I do have Fireball Comics address already, so I'll just send that to him. I'll text you Steve's address.
It's an actress called Beverly Adams. I believe she was an English actress. You know, it's funny when you do these collections, especially with these women, it's just you never run out. There's always more that you think about. You know, whether it be, and I try not to just stereotype into one type of genre. You know, I go back, you know, different decades. It could be actresses, it could be sports figures, could be singers. So it's there's just not one type of genre that I get into when I get into these women. And it's funny how when you start like looking up women and stuff, how they just keep leading to more different women. I'm sure everybody knows who this is.
Oh yeah, she's on Seinfeld.
This is yeah. Uh, think she Sophia Loren. This is Sophia Loren. So she started. She was big in obviously in the 40s and 50s, really all the way up to the 90s. Um, she was even in the one with who was the one with Walter Matthau, where where they kept playing the pranks on each other.
Oh, dirty old man or something.
Dirty, yeah, one of the not Dirty Old Men, but
Grumpy
Grumpy.
old, grumpy
Yeah,
old.
1 and 2. She was in the second one, and Margaret was in the first one, and well, she was also in number 2 as well. But Sophia Loren was the one that was in the second one. Yeah, she's still yeah, one of the hottest women of all time. Um, Another one here, Joy Lansing. Another one from kind of more of the 60s era. It's Joi Lansing, Lansing. Another one that was kind of more into the futuristic genre, kind of the Star Trek type era. Everybody probably knows who this is. Sadly, Sharon Tate. Murdered by the Manson family, 1969. What a shame, hey? I always wonder what her career would have wound up like had she not been murdered. Vera Miles. Oddly enough, this was probably pretty risque at the time. Another actress from the 50s into the 60s, played also in some John Wayne movies. Apologize for the glare.
Oh, we have a saying on don't apologize for the glare in the community.
Yeah, I suppose we do have the comic books that you guys have as a collection. You always want to protect them.
Sharon Tate was a gem. Okay, let's keep it clean, Louie. The sausage and the bologna pony.
Okay. Dina Morell. Not sure how many people really know her. Kind of another one, late 50s, 60s. I believe her mother was Marjorie Post. So not only was she a gorgeous lady, she was extremely wealthy.
She had the combo, huh? Who do we have here?
This is I can't draw a blank right now, but if you look up Dr. Kildare, she was in the original Dr. Kildare movies. considered the first women of baseball.
Huh.
I don't know if
Wonder
you
why
could
that is.
look up Mike Dr. Kildare, the original movie. She was married to Leo DeRozier, one of the baseball coaches. I believe at the time he was the coach of the Giants, the New York Giants. This is before they moved to San Francisco. And I should know her name, but drawing a blank. Nancy Olson. Oddly enough, I consider her probably one of the hottest women back in the '60s. Didn't really, her career didn't really bloom, probably as I don't know if it was due to, if she got married or something or what the deal was, but I'm sorry, Nancy Kovac, not Nancy Olson. Stella Stevens. Her son actually became a pretty good actor in his himself. She's another one that probably didn't get the acclaim that considering she was a sex symbol, uh, probably didn't to get as much notoriety as she probably should have.
For her real talents as an actress.
Yeah, yeah, she kind of got stereotyped a little bit back in the late '50s, early '60s, and back then it's kind of like once you get into that, it's a little bit hard to get out of it. Another one of Jean Crane that I showed earlier.
I read a lot of stuff about these actresses, and it was like all the guys in Hollywood just wanted to sleep with them.
Yeah, it was interesting with a lot of these photographs. Studios actually, unlike today, where there's so much social media and these people can kind of represent themselves, and obviously the public and a lot of these magazines kind of sell themselves. But when they went to work for a studio, they usually did like a studio picture, and then the studio would have to do like a promotion.
Yeah, the internet's ruined a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of getting personal with people.
Yeah, another one here. I probably should have. She was in Sink the Bismarck, one of her famous roles. Furline was another movie she was in. Really liked her. She was an English actress. Just to me, incredible face. Kind of a skinny, not much of a body, but she's just incredibly cute, right? This is Eileen O'Neill. Kind of be, one ahead of the time a little bit. Now you see a lot of women wearing these tiger type bikinis, and you know, um, kind of ahead of its time. And Shirley Eaton, also from Doctor No, first James Bond movie. Remember, she got painted in gold. Or no, I'm sorry, that was Goldfinger. I'm not Doctor No, Goldfinger. Shirley Eaton. She was an English actress as well.
How many more you got, you think?
Probably about a dozen or so.
Okay.
Diamonds Are Forever. Remember this one? Another James Bond movie, 1972, I believe. She's married to Robert Wagner.
Who is that?
I can't. Yeah, I can't name. Drawing a blank.
Who was the one that played in Heart to Heart?
Oh, Stephanie Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't she in the Avengers or something also?
not sure, but I remember Stephanie Powers was in McClintock, I believe, with John Wayne. She played a teen. She was kind of a, I don't know, 17, 18-year-old in McClintock. It's kind of where she, one of her first roles. This one I really like. I Dream of Jeannie.
Barbara Eden.
Barbie Eaton. Great picture. A lot of detail in the photo.
I remember they wouldn't let her show her belly button on TV.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? You know what they have today, back then versus today. Yeah. Tina Louise,
Oh
right?
yeah. I don't know. That picture don't do her justice. If her hair's pulled back. She must have been really young there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, she was another one that kind of got typecast, and it was difficult for to kind of get out of that whole
The
role.
glamorous Hollywood personality.
Yeah. I think too. I think she was considered difficult for a lot of directors and stuff to work with. Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, Janet Leigh, married to Tony Curtis. Also played in the movie Psycho.
Tim, say hello to Milagros.
Hi, Milagros.
Oh,
Hi, Tim.
she's fascinated that you're in the other room and we're on the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Gina Labrigiato. Another one I would consider probably one of the classiest beauties of all time. Another one that really didn't play in a lot of. I know she was an Italian actress, so she probably played in a lot more roles in her country than she did here. But she certainly was one of those that did the crossover, right? Let's see here. Another one of Hedy Lamarr, kind of a more modern one compared to the black and white. I kind of like the black and whites, just but sometimes it's always nice too to have that color to see the lipstick and the different colors of dresses and stuff that they wore.
The black and whites kind of speak to the time.
Yeah.
I got ads in my old comic books that say, "Send in your picture and we'll color it for $1."
This was Donna Reed. She actually had her own television show in the late 50s, early 60s, but she was also in a lot of different movies of that time period.
Go watch her on YouTube.
Kind of the same period as her and uh, Gene Crane and Gene Peters were all kind of in that same genre, right?
Ooh, we peaked at 10 viewers.
Can't remember who this is, but I always like the picture. Just cute, pretty smile. Very innocent, right?
That's weird. Your screen like turns
Yeah.
blue, green,
Right.
red. You got some effects going on.
Yeah. Gene Simmons.
Not from Kiss.
No, yeah, no. Spelled differently with a J.
She appeared in a lot of movies.
Yep.
Gene Simmons.
Yeah, she was kind of had it's funny with her. She was obviously a lead actress, but then she also played some supporting movies.
I think she was more known for her talent as an actress than as her beauty.
She always kind of played a lot of times she played the vixen, right? Kind of
The bad girl. Did you see that thing on YouTube about they released the audio of, I forget which president, saying that he would spank Jackie O?
that he would what?
The vice president of Jack Kennedy. There's a say that he was on a phone call with Jackie Onassis saying that he would spank her.
Oh, I don't know. I never
I
heard
didn't.
that
I
one.
didn't watch the video. I just saw the headline. It was one of those things released with the Kennedy papers.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Find it.
Yeah, President Johnson.
Yeah. This one's kind of interesting because I remember her in Sergeant York. So this is Jean Leslie. She always kind of played the innocent girl next door, really goody girl type roles. And this one here, kind of, she looks a little bit more older and seductive in this one. But she, when you watch a lot of her movies, like Sergeant York, she was in. She always kind of played that kind of goofy, innocent girl type role.
Next
But
door, the girl from next door.
yeah, yeah, definitely. This one's here. She looks a little bit more sophisticated and seductive in.
Does it say to Tim with all my love?
No, no, that was before my time, I think. Let's see here. I'm trying to find some other ones here that, again, I probably should have put some. This was another one of Deborah Steele. Remember before the one that she had was the kind of the pointed bra with the hat on.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the bra.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny with those bras back in the 50s, how they were almost like a pyramid type bra,
Like pylon cones.
Yeah. Let's see here. What's this one? Mitzi Gaynor.
That looks like a fun photo.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody ever saw. She was kind of into. She was in the movie, the musical South Pacific. Really good movie. Anybody looking for want to watch an old movie? Yeah, you kind of get a little bit. The musicals sometimes can drive you a little crazy. She used to. I don't know if anybody remembers the shampoo commercial in the '70s. Gonna wash that gray out of my hair.
Oh yeah.
That actually came from this movie. It was actually wash that man right out of my hair, and they had changed it to wash that gray right out of my hair. So yeah, Mitzi Gaynor, probably more known for her singing than necessarily her acting abilities, but certainly she could do both.
She could turn a few heads,
Yeah,
as they say in Hollywood.
yeah.
That's Hollywood talk for you people out there.
Um Marjorie Stewart.
She's got a nice smile.
Yeah, it's the thing with these. I'm always impressed with, especially back then. I mean, they didn't have whitening strips and all kinds of things for their teeth, right? They really, I mean, they had to take care of themselves, right? You didn't have all the different things of they have today, right?
Right.
But again, I think you look at like her hair, for example, and all the stuff that they put in her hair, and the back then they used to wear the hats and do it's a lot of work to dress themselves up for roles, a lot of makeup time. Can't remember who this is now, but more of a 1940s.
We're gonna probably go like 6 more minutes, 6:45.
Yeah, I only have a couple more.
Okay.
So yeah, we're pretty much getting to the end of mine here.
Now this isn't your whole collection. This is just what you brought back from
This
Wisconsin.
is just what I brought. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot more, but obviously, well, let's see here. I would definitely miss this one.
Raquel
Raquel
Welch.
Welch.
Oh yeah, that's probably the second one for me out of all of them.
Yeah, I think she was another one that didn't really have a good reputation. A lot of envy, right, in Hollywood. Obviously, a lot of talent. Obviously known for her beauty. I would have loved. I actually bid on it at one point, but everybody kind of remembers her from the caveman type movie. Um, but I would have loved to
Ringo
have that.
Starr.
This was Francis Gifford. Uh, kind of big in the 40s. With kind of tragic story with her. She ended up wound up in an institution. She had some issues with drinking and drugs or something, mental issues. She started off as a really, really strong career, and then it just, made some wrong choices with men and kind of took a tragic turn. Katherine Heigl.
She's just a supermodel.
No, Katherine Heigl's actress. She was big in probably in the late '90s, early 2000s. I think her career's kind of not done really well lately, but yeah, she was in a lot of big movies back in the late '90s, early 2000s. I'm sure most of your people on here kind of know who it is. Again, kind of different flavor here. Lori Morgan. So she was a country singer.
She's not anymore.
Well, she's not as big as I mean, obviously, kind of faded in, not really making new music and stuff like that. But she was married to, I believe, Keith Whitley. He ended up dying back in the '80s. She also she dated at one time in the early '90s. She dated Troy Aikman with the Cowboys. I think she was quite a bit older than he was at the time, but yeah, I really always liked her look. And a couple more here. Ruth Roman.
Is that 60s?
Yeah, another one kind of more in the early 50s, late 50s into the 60s. And let's see here. Andrea King.
To William, my friend, always.
Yeah, that's the thing when you buy these, secondhand, you're always going to get somebody who they intended, to have. Eleanor Parker. Was interesting with her because she didn't always play a blonde in a lot of her movies. She was a brunette. Another popular actress in the '40s and '50s.
You want to show us one more? We
Yep.
wind it up. I got to get up at 1 o'clock or 12. I got to get up at midnight. Go to work.
I don't know who this is, but probably leave you with a good memory for the night.
You'll sleep well on your pillows tonight, boys.
Yeah.
She's a little top heavy.
Yeah.
She tips over a lot.
I'm not a big, I don't know about your audience here, but I've never been big into the huge breast. I think a mouthful is enough, right? But
okay, that's TMI.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Yowza.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Thanks for coming along on this journey. Checking out my cousin Tim's female celebrity photo collection. We had some good time. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
No problem. I appreciate you inviting me on the channel. I appreciate your audience. Again, thank you very much for your time. I hope it was somewhat entertaining. It's kind of a little bit different than probably talking about comics, which you're used to talking about. But
I think it's kind of up our alley.
Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate it. I had a fun time. I wish I didn't have to get up so early. I probably would go another half hour.
Yeah, maybe we could do this when I get back home.
Yeah, we'll do a part two.
Another show at some point. And I'm sure I'll fulfill the needs of again, some of these comments and stuff with some of the other women. I do have Barbara Bach in some shorts, and maybe we'll do a couple more giveaways. Yep.
Okay, brother. So everybody, thank you. Congratulations to the winners, and we'll get your prizes out as soon as we can. Everybody have a great week, and I hope you enjoy your work because I know I'm not going to. All right, we're out of here.
Thanks.